Yes. Got it. Beautiful. How's things, mate? All right?
Yeah, good, buddy. How about yourself?
Oh, hang on. What have I done there? Hang on a sec.
No, you're right, mate.
This should be cool. There we go.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Thanks for taking your time out of your day, mate, to have a chat with me.
Yeah, too easy, mate.
I really appreciate it, buddy. What I'm trying to do with this page, mate, is promote rugby league here in Perth.
Yep.
I try to go to local games. I went to the Harmony. They had a Harmony Nines tournament, which is a multicultural tournament over the weekend.
Yep.
I went there, took photos, all that sort of stuff, and try to do some promote the game here in Perth and share some NRL news as well.
What have I done there? You still there? There we go.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Mate, disappointing the expansion news then. I don't understand. It's not expanding going into Southeast Queensland, so it's just putting another team in Brisbane.
Yeah. With that, I sort of have high hopes that, with them looking at the 18th team, that Perth's going to be want to be up there. So,
well, it's got to be 18 teams, don't it? You can't have 17 teams.
Yeah, so exactly. Hopefully with that bid, we've got plenty of backers over here. So put the money in, and the fans are here, mate. So
good stuff.
So we'll just get into this interview, mate. It shouldn't take more than half an hour or so, mate, if that's possible.
Too easy. Yep, too easy.
So your career, mate, you've played over 330 first grade games, mate. You played for Canberra, Roosters, Parramatta, Melbourne, Wigan, and then come back to Melbourne again. Played for 3 games for New South Wales. Obviously, the famous one, 06 in the game one, with a field goal. Broke my heart, mate.
We had plenty of success since then. So
yeah, that's it. You played 1 game for the PM's 13. Country New South Wales, played a couple of games, and you NRL All-Stars, mate, you also played in that. So, mate, you've had a hell of a career.
Yeah.
Is there anything you sort of reflect back on and go, wow, I achieved a lot?
Well, I guess it's like another world away now. I'm 40 and I've got a wife from Melbourne who has no idea about rugby league and a 2-year-old girl who doesn't understand rugby league. So, while I try and stay involved, it's, it's sort of like it never happened, It's happened that long time ago. We catch up with the boys the other day, a couple of the boys, Rico and Minnie, and, it's only 20 years ago since my first season at the Roosters. So it goes really quick. I'm really proud of the career I had. To play as long as I did, it's a hard sport. So longevity and being resilient and durable are things, that were important to me. And, I guess when you're finished, it's the person you are to continue the relationships. Well, if you're the best player, but if you're a dickhead, no one's going to want to catch up with you when you're finished. So, as much as it is you want to play well during your career, it's the friendships you make, which, now that I'm sort of 7-8 years retired, that's what means the most is the people you've met throughout the game.
Yeah, definitely, mate. So just go through a bit more of your stuff that you've achieved through your career, mate. You're 99 at Canberra, you're the club rookie of the year.
Yeah.
2004, when you went after the second year at the Roosters, mate, you're part of the grand final loss, unfortunately. Is there anything with that grand final loss that you sort of look back on and reflect with, could have gone this way, or we did this?
We lost 2 grand finals in a row there when I was there, 03, 04. I guess from both games, we didn't play great all year. It's a bit like Melbourne this year, they'll go down as one of the greatest teams ever, but they played the worst game in their last game and Penrith beat them. And similar to Penrith in 2020, I guess, when they won 17 in a row and were consistently probably the best team, but Melbourne beat them in the grand final. So we were minor premiers in 04. Both teams played really poorly. It wasn't a great game, us and the Dogs. So you look back, and back then, there's some decisions that could have gone against us, but we never played well. We played really poorly the 2 grand finals, 03 and 04. And we probably weren't the better team, So not that the Dogs are much better, but when you don't play your best, it's hard to sit here and criticise other areas. So we didn't play well, and then you sort of look back and Freddie retired at the end of that game. And, for the Roosters, we really fell away after that. I was 22, 23, and I played in 2 grand finals. You sort of think it happens every year. But that's not the case. It certainly was a long time before I got back there at sort of 28, 29 at the end of my career and won one with Melbourne. But you sort of understand that you don't get many chances if you get any at all, and you got to play your best when you get there.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. So after 06, you go from Roosters to Parramatta. You play 51 games there, but yes, your tenure ends in a pretty dramatic sort of way, in a sense. You were quoted as saying that Daniel Anderson said to you that you might not be the right person to take the club forward. Yeah. How did you take that sort of adversity and move forward?
I had no problem with that. And that's why I left, because I just re-signed. I'd re-signed expecting Michael Hagan to be coach. So 2 years, and I'd re-signed for 3 years expecting Hagues, and Hagues left and Ando was there, and he just had a different way he'd like to play, which probably didn't suit my game. The team wasn't playing great. I probably wasn't playing great. And, I asked for release because there's no use putting me in reserve grade, because that's, I was on a lot of money. I probably lost a bit of the desire to play. There wasn't a great culture in that club at the time. And when I sort of, lost that edge in my competitiveness, that's what my game was built on, that fire and, trying hard and being competitive and competing on every play. And I'd lost a bit of that. So, at that stage, it was my 11th year, and I played over 200 games. I was 27. While I was young, I'd been around a long time, and I just had a real flat spot in my career. And, for me, best things come badly wrapped. While I walked away from there, I didn't know where I was going to go. I ended up taking me to Melbourne, which was by far the highlight of my career and the best time of my career. And got me down there under Craig Bellamy, who was just an extraordinary man, an extraordinary coach. And, I'd always sort of been a big fish up here in a small pond, where when I went down there, I was the small fish. It's not, they had the guns, and it's not like they needed me. So it certainly challenged me to fire up, the challenge, got the fire in the stomach going again. And it was a new challenge late in my career, which is what I needed. And I played a role which wasn't the main playmaker, which I played my whole career. So it was nice to step away from being the main guy and in a team that, where the pressure, to rely on me wasn't as great. There's so many superstars that made it a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Yeah.
So you go down to Melbourne, 09, play 41 games, 09 to 2010. Yeah, you win the grand final 09, mate, and then for obvious reasons, we go back to the grand final. They stripped of the title. How does that sit with you? I know I've heard your quotes before of, mate, I've still got the premiership to bring it home. So
of course, mate, and it happens everywhere. We got caught. That's fine. But like Ben Johnson said, when he got caught with lost the gold medal at Seoul, he was running in a fair race, mate. People do that in the NRL. It happens. We got caught. That's fine. But to think other teams weren't doing it that year is just ridiculous. And so I wasn't. There was one time in my career I wasn't involved. I wasn't had any outside payments, and we got done. How ironic! I just come from the Roosters and Parramatta. So, but that's the way it goes. We got caught, mate. But that has no impact on, you win the grand final. When I'm about to make a tackle, you slip, and I was thinking about money, and it's through hard work. It certainly doesn't change my perception on that. And I've still got the ring here at home. So,
they can never take that away from you.
To think, I can guarantee you there wouldn't be too many teams that have won the competition in the last 20 years that haven't had a payment outside of the cap. In the end, we got caught. The punishment is we lose the title or stripped anyway. But, certainly from a player's point of view, I know how hard I worked to achieve that. It doesn't have to be in the books for me to have any different memories on it.
Yeah, no, definitely. So that's, how did you go from having lost 2 grand finals at the Roosters to winning the premiership at Melbourne? Was it like you've been to 2 grand finals, and getting that extra step now you actually won the grand final?
Yeah, and also I was at the end of my career. I was, a lot more mature. You handle the day better. I was really confident going into the game. I played a team I'd been at the start of the year. I was at Parramatta at the start of the year. So I was really confident, taking nothing away from Parra. They were on a great run, but, they really was on the back of Jared Hayne. We stopped him, which I knew we had the defence to do. We stopped the team. There certainly was one bloke who carried them the whole back half of the season. We did a great job on Jared. Again, Parramatta come back at us late, but the game was really all over. They were really good when they had to play ad-lib footy, and for them, they probably left their run too late. And it sort of got close at the end. It got back to 6 points, but it was never really any doubt we controlled the game a lot of the way. And you the confidence I had going in that game was a lot different. Plus, you're at the end of your career. You're older, you're more mature. You know how to handle the day. And it was a nice way to finish, nice. It was good to get that at the end of their career because, for someone who loved footy, if I'd lost 3 Gs, that would have been awful to live with. So I was happy to get that at the end of the career.
Yeah, definitely, mate. So growing up in, the Hunter region, being a Hunter Mariners junior, mate, was there anyone sort of who inspired you as a young kid? And if so, how did they inspire you?
Yeah, well, Dad, my old man coached the Knights growing up when they first come in. So, seen firsthand the Johns boys and how hard they trained. I've known them for a long time, but they did a lot of extra training before and after training, which sort of showed me at the young age, you need to do more than just what you're doing with the team. I guess when I started playing, I had a lot. Laurie Daly I love Laurie Daly, Ricky Stewart, Alan Langer, any of those good players. When Freddie was my hero growing up, so you sort of get there, you sort of get in and start coming through the grades. Then you see how hard people train, and you quickly realise, blokes who have achieved everything are the hardest trainers. So there's no surprise there, and the common denominator is hard work, and there's no other way around it. So I sort of was always a hard worker. I was never afraid of hard work, and that was sort of my motto. I thought I could outbeat someone because I could outwork them. I'd work harder than someone because I wanted it more. So that suited me. But obviously, it's a long career. So throughout your career, you get challenged with your work ethic and your desire. And but early on, that was the big thing for me. That those guys I followed, when I got to see them firsthand, is how hard they worked.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the way, mate. Yeah, hard work pays off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So just going back to New South Wales, mate, when you're representing New South Wales, especially for the first time, mate, how proud of a moment was that for you?
Yeah, it was. Well, Freddie had come out of retirement 2004, and I remember as a kid, Freddie was my hero when it was about 94, 93, 94. And Freddie was 21, 22. And I thought, if I can play Origin by 21, 22, Freddie should be about 30. And I'll be able to play with him. And it turned out that way. He was my club captain and halves partner. And then we played Origin together. So that was like a childhood dream come true. And we got beat by Queensland, I think, by 4 points or 2 points. But we played really good. I thought we were the better team that night. I had a pretty good game myself. And to do that alongside, your hero, who's also, was now a good mate and my captain at club level was a huge honour. I got called into the team. Brett Camorley pulled a hamstring, but I had a lot of teammates in there: Craig Fitzgibbon, Anthony Michello, Craig Wing, Freddie. The list goes on. There's a lot of other people I was really good mates with throughout the game. So, while it was a challenge and you're nervous, you're playing Origin at a different level. I was in and around a lot of my club teammates and a lot of mates I had from other clubs that was there. So. It was a great experience, and it's such an honour to represent the Blues.
So just going on to the 06 game, mate. Game 1, that field goal, mate. The pressure put on you for that one. And a hell of a kick that you kicked it, mate. I know there's a bit of a backstory before that game. Do you mind just running through it with us for the
well, I wasn't picked. Another game I was originally picked in the team, and so I'd been on the drink. We played Sunday. I had Sunday back then. The recovery and that wasn't as precious as it is now, or as detailed. We might have had a swim down Bondi or something. Monday morning, Monday was lunch back. Monday Arvo, back on the beers, counter meal. So Monday night, big night. Tuesday was training. We had training Tuesday morning, then back on the beers Tuesday Arvo. So. I got called in Tuesday, not back then. It was the old Nokias, so it was different sort of with the phones. No one could get hold of me. They found out I was at Bronte RSL. They rang the club, and the club PA, over the PA system. I had a phone call. And I got called in. I had to go out to Parramatta. I had to get a taxi out there because I couldn't drive from the eastern suburbs. I got out about midnight the night before. So, it was, it's sort of less than 24 hours away from playing. I turned up. I think they were a bit surprised the state I was in. But I was pretty confident. It's sort of, I understood the situation. It's like I had nothing to lose. And for a situation like that, I'm probably your man because I'm going to attack it, I'm not going to be afraid of it, It's the same reason one thing about me throughout my career, no matter what the situation, I thought I could beat that. Whatever the odds were, I thought I could beat it. Now, a lot of the time it got me into trouble, because I should have known my limitations because I'd come up with a mistake. But I always had that mentality, if the game was on the line or in any situation was to take it on. And I understood, I sort of seen that in that situation that, if I play shit, no one's going to care because I've been on the drink for 3 days. I just got called into the team. Oh, well, I'm not going to, there's going to be no criticism, So it's like a free hit. So I come out the forwards are tremendous early. Brayton Astor, who was my club teammate. Again, it was a situation where there's a lot of ruthless guys there. And the teammates are both like known for a long time. Forward set of rules made me get in. Still got in the game, still got that. Still got 16 more. Yeah. So one thing I'm afraid of the same reason I took out the blue in the creative.
I mean it's a hell of a story, mate. And I mean I've heard it a few times. You've talked about it on the Matty John show and stuff like that. So I mean I've heard the story before, but yeah, mate, I never get tired of hearing it. Yeah,
that's for I never get tired of telling it.
So 2018, you marry your partner, mate, Ellie, and 2019 your baby girl Mackenzie was born, mate. How was that sort of experience for you, mate?
Yeah, it was unbelievable, mate. I certainly loved a good time. Obviously it's a bit different back in those days, but I was single for a long time, and mate, I really struggled at the end of footy. Footy is all I'd ever wanted to do. I'd love footy. It wasn't a job for me, If they weren't paying us, I would have done it. Would have done it exactly the same way, And I was single my whole career, so that's the family. That's all I ever knew was football. People I hung out with football people, I'm with you. You'd with them all day at training, and then outside, you'd be hanging around the same people. I was immersed in it. So I really, all I'd ever wanted to do from 4 years of age was to play first grade, was to play footy. So when that finished, you're sort of like, well, I've done all I've wanted to do. What's left in life? And you're 32, 33. There's a lot of living to do. And I was real lost. I had no purpose in life, no sense of achievement. I just really struggled. And then obviously I met Ellie. We got married. And then we had Mackenzie, and that's certainly, it's like give my life a fresh coat of paint, so to speak. It's you sort of realize, geez, I'm on this planet to be a dad, and there's other things outside of footy, and certainly just it gave me a great shot in the arm, so to speak, for where I was at mentally. And she's a little ripper, mate. She looks like a mother, which is great, but she's got an energy like her old man, which is hard to handle at times. But she's I wouldn't trade her for the world. She's a little ripper, and she's daddy's little girl, and we're best mates, and it's great.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah, I know how you feel, mate, because I'm a father of 10 kids, or I've got 12 between me and my partner. We've got 12
really?
Kids, so, yeah.
Jesus, I'm struggling with one.
Yeah, we've got 10 that live in our household at the moment, mate. So yeah, I know how you feel. Yeah,
Oh, mate, no, you might know. I don't know how you feel with 10. Gee whiz.
Yeah, it's a bit different. We just had our youngest one's she's only 2 months old, gonna come out in 3 months. So yeah,
Not much sleep.
not much. So I'm just gonna jump into a bit of a personal note with you, mate. 2019, you diagnosed yourself with mental health issues. Obviously a dark time in your life. How did you get through that? And have you got any advice for people that are going through similar things?
Yeah, it's sort of like a big diagnosis. I had some issues post footy, and the first thing is just to say it's okay to have a problem. There's nothing wrong with that. I think the stigma around it has changed a lot. And there's a lot more awareness around mental health, and it's okay to have it. So I guess the first thing is it's okay to have a problem.
Yeah.
No one, for me, I've been male you tell someone you got a problem and you go get help for it, so the stigma around mental health that was non-existent, or you deal with it on your own, was terrible. So to admit that I had a problem and I needed help, it was the first thing, and that's always gets the ball rolling.
Yeah, that's it, mate. So 2019, mate, you join YKTR, mate. And you get onto your own podcast, mate, Brett Finch Uncensored. How's the podcast going?
Yeah, it's going good, mate. I did Tom Travojevic the other week, so it's been good. For me, it's I got a lot of relationships in the game. Certainly through COVID, was something I thought I would do because financially I need to generate a bit of money, but I need to stay busy. For my own mental health is to stay busy. If I'm sitting at home, if I'm by myself at home, I'm in bad company. I need to keep busy. I thought I've got a lot of great contacts in the game throughout my time, a lot of great mates, a lot of great stories, And there's a side of me that I want people to see. I'm very serious. I'm serious about footy. And that's why teammates, I guess, I had a great relationship with teammates, because a lot of people on the outside only see the comedian side or the funny side or the joke side, where teammates seen how hard and serious I was. And I was a serious competitor, and football meant a lot to me, and I was serious at training. So to be able to chop and change through different different sides, and show different sides of me through my interviewing, and through teammates, I've formed mates I want to talk to about the serious side. It gives me a good platform to do that, and I enjoy it. So, at worst, I get to sit down and have a chat with the mates, and people get a kick out of it. And I thought through COVID it was pretty good. And so I've done a few. I did Braith and that's the other day. Brendan Cowell, the actor, who's Avatar and Game of Thrones, and we're doing Tom Travojevic. Got Victor Radley, a few other guys lined up. So it's been pretty good.
Yeah, wicked, mate. Yeah, I've got a couple of interviews myself lined up this week. So yeah, in a similar boat. I'm trying to get some current players to come on, but they probably get heaps of messages and stuff come on. So
I think too, in the off season they're pretty hard to get hold of. Let me tell you, they're
exactly.
Holiday, so
yeah, and that's why I appreciate your time today.
Too easy, mate.
Just one more thing before we go, mate.
Yep.
Any advice that you would give to kids these days coming up, not just in sports but in life in general?
Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah, probably just to work hard, and apply yourself. The old saying, was it, success only comes before work is in the dictionary. That's the only place it does. You got to work hard, and any good player, so I can only relate to football because that's all I know. But anyone who's successful in football, their success was underpinned by a work ethic that was extremely tough. They worked as anyone, Cameron Smith, Brad Fittler, Anthony Michelle, Craig Bellamy, Billy Slater, the list goes on. Anyone who I've been around who's successful, that success is underpinned by a work ethic and toughness that is better than most people. So for me, it's sort of shown now, and I think it's in any field or any employment. Anyone who is successful are hard workers. Success doesn't come; it's not given to you; it's earned. And it's through hard work. So for any kids out there, you only sort of get out what you put in, and you work hard enough, you will get the rewards for whatever you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So do you have anything else going on in your life, mate, that, at the moment, like, I know you're on Bloke in a Bar podcast with him.
Yeah, I've just got to go to him now, actually. About to go to there now.
Yeah, so is there anything else that you're up to, mate?
No, I do a bit of a radio, SEN. So I do a bit of stuff with them, and I do Bloke in a Bar. I've got the podcast going, so bits and pieces with everyone. I'm with PointsBet, the gambling company, so they've been great. So just bits and pieces, which keeps me going. Obviously, without footy, out of season, I need to keep myself busy, and certainly bits and pieces along the way, just filling in my week. It's been good.
That's awesome, mate. Look, Brett, I really appreciate your time, mate. Thank you so much, mate. For the interview. You have a good day, and I'll chat to you another time, mate.
Good on you, mate. Cheers.
Thanks, buddy.
See you, mate.
See ya.